proposals of motion? Are there any ministerial statements? I call the Honourable the Premier.
Thank you, Mr Speaker. Mr Speaker, 2022 has been quite the year. It wasn't the best start with those devastating floods, but as we recovered from that, we also continue to recover from the pandemic, and Queensland hasn't slowed down since then. We opened up again to the world, people moved here in their droves, unemployment is at an all-time low 3.3%, our exports are booming, a record $131.3 billion, nearly double the value of the previous 12 months, again larger than New South Wales and Victoria combined. And our budget surplus has grown to a record high. We continued on our green and gold runway to 2032, building key infrastructure projects like Cross River Rail, and also announced transformational plans like our $10 billion Hospitals and Health Plan, and our $62 billion Queensland Energy and Jobs Plan with our new 70% by 2032 renewable energy target, setting our state up for generations to come. We delivered new schools and hospitals, took action on unprecedented housing pressures, continued to tackle issues like youth crime and domestic and family violence. This year we also made a giant leap towards our Path to Treaty, signing Queensland's Path to Treaty commitment. Mr Speaker, I'd also like to take this opportunity to table reports on our 2020, 2017 and 2015 government election commitments, which provide an update on the progress we have made. We are now halfway through the current term and well on track to delivering our promises, with over 50% of our 2020 government election commitments already delivered. We are committed to good, secure jobs in our traditional and emerging industries and protecting and enhancing our Queensland lifestyle as we grow. We are backing our frontline services, employing more than 7,300 additional frontline workers, including over 2,665 nurses and midwives, 821 allied health professionals, 611 doctors, 304 paramedics and 2,986 additional teachers, Minister Grace. Construction on all 7 satellite hospitals has now commenced, which, once complete, will be critical, ensuring Queenslanders can get better care closer to their home. 246 school infrastructure projects we promised have now been completed, and we continue to create opportunities for First Nations Queenslanders, delivering on our commitment to develop a First Nations training strategy to provide job-focused training, as we announced on Thursday Island when we held our cabinet up there. Mr Speaker, I'm also proud of what we've achieved so far. Despite global challenging affecting us locally, we're continuing to deliver the infrastructure and services that Queensland need. Queenslanders can be sure that this government is delivering for them every day. Mr Speaker, Queenslanders love their sport. We saw it this week at the AFLW Lions christen their new stadium at Springfield with a grand final. We saw it again as Cameron Smith won his 3rd PGA title, and we are feeling it now as history book beckons the Socceroos. Mr Speaker, sport unites us, it lifts us and inspires us. Anyone who has seen a State of Origin knows that. But there is no greater sporting spectacle than the Olympic and Paralympic Games. Mr Speaker, the achievement of hosting the Olympic and Paralympic Games in our state has never been about a few weeks of competition. It's about the decades' worth of investment leading up to them and the decades that will follow, as Queensland steps onto the world stage like never before. Mr Speaker, we are not wasting this opportunity. We have a plan. Our legacy program ensures decisions made for 2032 will deliver benefits far beyond. Our Legacy Committee, made up of Queenslanders of all ages and from all walks of life, is tasked with this role. But, Mr Speaker, we want to ensure our Games truly belong to all of us. Today I announce a Legacy Summit to gather together 500 people to have further input on our Games will be held in Brisbane on March 22. These 500 will bring the feedback of their communities, giving thousands a say in this golden opportunity. We want all Australians to share with us how our state can be shaped and transformed by hosting the 2032 Olympic and Paralympic Games. In addition, an online survey will open next week so that we can hear from everyone about your hopes and dreams for our Games. Mr Speaker, I want as many people from Queensland to take part. I urge as many people as possible to register their interest and share their ideas when applications open on Monday. As Olympian Nat Cook is fond of saying, teamwork makes the dream work. The Legacy Forum is our team. I look forward to finding even more ways for all Queensland to share the pride of hosting the 2032 Olympic and Paralympic Games. Mr Speaker, Queensland has the largest populations of veterans in Australia. More than 163,000 current or former Australian Defence Force personnel call Queensland home. These Queenslanders have chosen a life of sacrifice, and it is appropriate that we as a government support them during and after their service, including those who may find themselves in tough times. Following the release of our Housing Summit Outcomes report yesterday, I'd like to further announce $1.8 million to the Salvation Army to deliver a housing and homelessness support program for our veterans who may be experiencing homelessness or at risk of homelessness. It is part of our broader $10 million support package improving the health, well-being and lifestyle of Queensland veterans and their families. Mr Speaker, also talking about our veterans, 3 weeks ago today I announced the appointment of members to the Queensland Veterans Council and the expert advisory body, the Veterans Reference Group. Both groups came together this week with the inaugural meeting of the Queensland Veterans Council being held right here at Parliament. Mr Speaker, the members of the Council have great insight and experience of the needs of the veterans community, and their advice will be invaluable as we work together to improve the health and well-being of our veterans. The Council will have responsibility for managing, maintaining and preserving Anzac Square from next year, and they'll also oversee the Anzac Day Trust Fund, which supports the welfare of veterans and their dependents through annual grants programs for ex-service organisations. I want to thank my Assistant Minister for Veterans, Bart Mellish, who will be working closely with both groups as they help us drive outcomes for our veterans. Mr Speaker, the heart of this government is about delivering good jobs, better services and a great Queensland lifestyle. The first among these is good jobs. There is dignity in work. It's about having the ability to pay your bills. Since our election, we have helped create 461,200 new jobs. Good, decent jobs, and we want to create even more. Mr Speaker, I'm pleased to announce success in our flagship Workforce Strategy Grant program. This program links employer groups with large cohorts of people who are either not currently working or working full-time. The Minister advises me that at the close of the program, if successful, we'll be helping more than 35,000 employers find workers and more than 54,000 workers find a job. The Minister will go into more detail shortly.